Okay, here's the latest update. I bought some wood shims. So you can buy these at any hardware construction store. So just thin pieces of wood, pre-cut, because I'm not good with wood. I'm not a carpenter. But what I did was I started inserting them so again, I got progress. I'm starting to get some separation of the head from the block. It's not off yet, and I tried the crowbar method again. That thing is it's still not budging, but I was able to start driving some wood wedges through here. Now, a couple of things to note about this. The valves are on this side, so you don't want to use any kind of sharp or hard metal, if possible, when you're separating the head. Now, this wood is this is pretty soft wood. It's probably not my first choice. If I was making homemade wood wedges, I'd pick a harder wood, maybe like oak or something, but this is pretty soft wood. I don't know what it is, but it is making a little, it's better than nothing. So I'm driving those in here. What I'm going to do is then, take this off. I will then try to hammer on this again and get more leverage and just keep working the head, trying to get it off. You can see I got the crack now. I got better separation. The back still is on there tight, and that's of course hard to get to against the firewall. But the front, as you work your way towards the front, I am getting more space. So I am seeing some progress on both sides, but there's still more work left to do. So let me get going on that, and hopefully I'll have an update shortly. Okay, not much progress, a little progress. Since the last time, what I did was I pulled some of the studs out. Some of the nuts were frozen on the head of the studs, and so the bolts that go through the head to the block. And so I just pulled them out. I figured they weren't. There's one here too. I pulled that out. An interesting thing I noticed. So I took the wedge out. You can see I've made more progress. You can see here the crack is much bigger now. But interestingly, if I try to push down hard on this, and I try to use both hands and a lot of weight, and here's the, just to show you the progress here, so. And my wedges down there. So some progress on the front of the head, but it's definitely, what am I trying to say? Like I can't even if I pushed, like that gap doesn't, well, it's hard to do with one hand, but like with both my hands and a lot of weight, I couldn't even push this down back, because what I'm trying to think to do is, if I work the front of the head up and down a bit, it might loosen something back here on a stud, or I don't know what, there's something holding it pretty well on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a piece of wood like this, and I'm going to get the hammer, and I won't do it all here like this. And so what I'm hoping to do is, without damaging the head, of course, is try to knock this back down a bit. And I figure if I have it go up and down on the gap, it might free up or loosen something. I'm just hoping, I guess, for a miracle at this point. But anyway, that's what I'm going to try next. Okay, I quickly realized from my last video clip, I soon realized I didn't need to hammer the front here. And I'm sure those of you watching at home were probably yelling at the screen like, just put the nuts back on the head and tighten it down the front. So I learned that on my own pretty quick. And for that, you're going to need a good size, like a breaker bar. You want a good leverage on this bar, the socket. And what I did was I put this nut back on and this back on and just tightened it down. So as I was tightening this, interesting thing happened. So not only is the front, that gap is now closer. It's not flush, but there's less space in the front. But remember those wooden wedges. So I have some here, and some of these broke off on this side, but you can see I've got the wood wedges in there. Again, using wood because I don't want to damage the internals of that head, like any valves or cylinder parts. But interestingly, I have so tightening the front, putting it down, it created so imagine a seesaw. So if you have leverage in the middle here, balance in the middle, and you put pressure down here, so I tighten these nuts to bring this down here. A nice side effect here is the bottom went up. So if you look on the bottom, the back now, that was not there before. So tightening down the front of the head, reapplying those nuts after I kind of put these wedges in here, it's starting to separate the head from the back of the block, which is good because that's a hard area for me to reach. And it did the same thing on the other side as well. Let me see if I can go here and show you. So what I'm going to do now is I think, and again, that's pieces of wood I've chopped off in there, but those are like wedged in there. And sure enough, also here on the back, yeah, it's kind of corroded there. But anyway, you'll see that's separated as I tighten the front down here. So what I'll do now is I'll put a little more penetrating fluid in the back on these nuts, these studs, and keep the pressure on that overnight and just see what happens. And so one more night of soaking in penetration fluid. We'll see if that helps. Okay, here's the latest update. What I've decided, the approach I'm taking now is, you'll notice I put some wood wedges in the back now. So I'm continuing to loosen the front, prop up the front a little bit, then tighten it back down. And then what I'm going to try to do is, what this will look like is, and also I had to go out and buy more wood shims. You'll go through a lot of these if you have a stubborn head. So on my second pack, what I want to do, if you think about this piece of wood, is ideally you'd like to lift the head off evenly. So if you can't do that ideally, what you do is, I'm going to like, I basically prop it up a little bit in the front, then I put some wood wedges there, then I tighten it down, and the back comes up, then I put some wood wedges there. So what's going to happen is it'll just slowly come up like this, and I do mean slowly. So each time I have to get more of a gap, put some more, like now I've driven these, it's hard to see, but I've driven them further in now, so I have more of a gap. Keep in mind that where the studs are, where the bolts are that go through the head to the block, you won't be able to get a piece of wood in there, it'll hit. And I've been lucky to avoid all those, although I was kind of aware of this, but now it's even more aware. Just remember on the distributor side and that distributor shaft, a piece of wood did hit that. Again, soft wood, I don't think it damaged it, but one of my wood wedges did hit that there, so hopefully, I don't know, hopefully not any serious damage. I hope not. Anyway, and what else? Oh, and I knew I was making progress because when I tightened down this front nut on the head, back when I had it propped up, there wasn't really even any space to have it grip, so I had to put this one in first, and that's because this one's attached to the stud and the bolt and went in easier. But I knew I was making progress because as I raise the head higher, it's harder to get these back on and tighten them down. Another thing to point out, just an observation, that when you tighten and loosen the head this way, trying to work the wood wedges in on the side, you'll hear these things crack and creak and groan as you tighten and loosen. So nothing to worry about, but you can hear it as you start doing it. So let me make some more progress and see if I can get an update. Okay, making more good progress. So I am now able to use the crowbar to actually lift a little bit, at least on the front of the head. So here's what I did. I took out this nut and stud, and I took off the nut here. And so from this side, that eye bolt hole, whatever. This round piece of metal screwed into the hole where the spark plug goes. I was able to get this through here, and on the other side, that nut, I unscrewed the nut so it's above the stud. So remember, at least theoretically, the idea is the leverage, because that stud goes down to the head, is giving me leverage to pull up. I actually got some progress here, so I'm going to be quiet for a second. You can see and hear as I raise the head, at least on the front. So here we go. Okay, so you can see that come up. And then, so it's loose, it's getting looser. It's not off yet. It's still stubborn. Back over here. Back over here. This is the problem area. So I'll still work on it, but this is slow but good progress. I'll take it, and I'll have an update soon. Okay, I'm gonna try this one more time again real quick. Nope, not budging. Well, you'll have to take my word. It did budge at one time, but it's not now. Let me take this off the mount. One thing that's, you can see the progress I've made now. These wood, can I zoom out? Hold on, let me, these pieces of wood wedges are now loose. Like now there's enough gap on the head that I can just freely move these out now. So you can see, and I got little pieces of wood in there like this. Who knows what's, and then is this back, even this back one. So, and yeah, you can see along the side here, that's a pretty good size gap, and it's even from front to back. But you may be wondering, well, why is it not coming off? And I am wondering that myself. And real quick on this side, I took most of these out too. So again, and this is on the valve side, so there we go. Some pieces of wood and remnants are still in there. But you can see I can easily, like, I can like basically, with my hand, that almost is going, that's almost going the length. That length is almost the full horizontal width across the head. So you can see that this is separated off, and all I have is this one nut left on here, but it's finger tight. I was using that for leverage for the crowbar. I can just take that off, but it's just not so the mystery for me is still that something is something inside there is still not letting go. So I'm not going to give up now. I'm going to keep going. I mean, you know, really for all intent and purposes, this should just pop off. I could probably see almost daylight through here if I looked closer. So I hope the next video clip I have, I'll just show you, hopefully the head will be completely off and I can tell you how I got it off. But as of yet, it's not officially off yet. Oh, and this one too. Same thing, look at that. That's like on the back here, that's a huge, that should be off. I mean, I don't know what's still holding it on. Maybe rust, I don't know. Gasket sealant, something, but I'll find out. Okay, still not off yet, but let me show you what I'm doing. With my set of wood wedges, hopefully it shows on video, I'm taking multiple ones and stacking them now. So because the gap here is so wide now, which is good, it's wider, more apart, but a single wood wedge now doesn't work. So what I have to do is I'm stacking 3 of them here, and even more if I can get them in there. So now with a hammer, and you can use just a regular carpenter hammer for this, I'm going towards the back here and then just hammering. And again, you want to like, don't go directly into one of the studs or bolts, you know, or the distributor shaft. We talked about that earlier. So I got some in there and on the other side. So what I'll maybe do is try to like wedge this up again. I'll just keep working it, but I'll keep putting more wood wedges in there, thicker, until I get this off. So I'm not giving up. Okay, still at it. I really took a big stack of these wood wedges and just shoved them in there as far as I could. As they get loose, I just keep hammering them in. And on this side, because again, my problem, it's that rear part of the head near the firewall that just won't let go. But here is some progress. I know I keep saying that in every video clip. I'm able to grab, and actually there's so much, here's how far it came up. This wedge now, it's so far off the block now, the head, that I'm not really getting much angle on this now. Whenever I was hammering this metal wedge to lift up on the front, well, now you can see it slides almost all the way under now. So I've lost that leverage. Here's something that's progress though. I'm able to grab the water pump that's bolted to the head, and if I can do this with one hand, can you see that? Wait. Anyway, it's not coming off, but it's moving. So it's hard to see in the video, but I'm actually able to move the head by hand on the studs. That's the first time I've been able to do that. So I think I'm getting close. We'll wait till the next video clip, see what happens. Okay, this is the driver's side of the head. You can see when I take these out, they're all, it's soft wood, which is good, but they get destroyed. So I try to reuse as much as I can. I can probably reuse these two, but some of these, I can't reuse them. So what I did was I pulled them out, and now so what I'm gonna do is, I'll just videotape this. I got these two, and I'll put them between some new ones. That's 3. Then I got 4. I think on the other side I was doing 5. Yeah, I could probably fit I might be able to fit a 5th one in there. Yes, I can. In fact, I might be able to put a 6th one, but let me start with that. I'm kind of going for broke here because I'm almost out of my second pack of wood wedges. They're not expensive. They're like $1 or $2 a pack, but I should have just bought a lot more. Anyway, I just start them, and I just keep doing that. I can tell I'm making progress, of course, because not only can I take them out, but I have no studs left now to get any screws on. So let me, here I'm left-handed, so. Shit. And it's not off yet. I really have no idea what's keeping it, maybe somebody welded it on. I mean, I could put my fingers and it's, oh. Did it just come off? Okay, I'm getting closer, but it's not, it's just back here, it's not, okay, so, alright, that's not going to do it. So, let me hammer a little more on this side, but that's the work I'm doing. So not the coolest video, I guess, but that's how you get the head off, I guess. So more to come soon. Well, I'm about to declare victory. You can see that gap. But what's interesting, I have enough, this head is high enough off the block now. You can see some contributing factors to why it's sticking. That's all rust. So that's one of the studs. Here's another one. It looks pretty ugly. The one in the back, if you can see that one. And the other side probably doesn't look much better. So that's most likely why this head is being so stubborn, is because these are just been rusted in. They need to, so when I get this head off, I'm definitely putting all new studs in, and I'll walk through that. But this one maybe looks okay. You know, I'll look at all the valves and cylinder stuff later, but just looking at these studs and how badly corroded they, you know, just they're not in good shape. So that's probably what's holding it on there, is just years of rust and who knows what else on there. But they'll all be coming out and new ones will be going in. Okay, time for the final victory lap. I think I can declare victory now. All right, so I'm grabbing this eye bolt here. It seems loose enough on the front. It finally gave way. I want to attempt to lift this up without dropping it. So that's on there pretty tight. It's still grabbing on one of the studs. Just let go. Let go finally. Yay! Oh my God. Okay. It is finally off. I thought that would never happen. So, real quick, before my camera runs out of battery, that is off, thank goodness. Here's what the underside of it looks like. I'll clean it up. Although I'm not going to reuse it, I'm going to get a new high compression head. Oh God. So, and real quick, taking a look. This is not a copper gasket. It's a composite, like a graphite gasket maybe. You can see the mess I made here, but again, using wood, soft wood, I don't think I damaged anything. So I'll clean this up, and I got to pull these out, but oh my God, this is a huge victory. So way past my bedtime, so I'm going to bed.